Bluetooth connected.
Mike, what's up, man? Beef Ramen says hi. Hello, Beef Ramen. Lewis Cool Gamer, thank you. Appreciate that. Ayacucho says hello from ATL. These are my characters, Lewis Cool Gamer. Mike, you drew all day, now you're ready to doze off? I should be in bed too, but it's my weekend, why not? I can be up as late as I want. Yeah, listen to the soundtrack. I do not color at all. I'm only black and white. Cool Gamer. Yeah, these are going to be villain characters that show up in my next book. I've got one finished. Just waiting for it to get inked to print it up. I'm still working out the name. Not 100% certain. No, Lewis, everything I do is me. Everything is my own. I write my own stuff. I draw my own stuff. I am working with an inker in large part on this project for sure. But I'm just a nobody who just likes to make comics and always has ever since I was a kid. So I just started making my own, and so but yeah, I do everything pretty much on my own as far as the concept and the what and the why. If that's what you're asking. Well, the only thing I could say is either I hate to sound like a shill saying follow my channel or follow my Instagram, but I'm waiting for the production. I have to make the book. I'm going to do a crowdfunder on it. It's going to be my first one ever, but I'm waiting. Me and the inker, you know, we decided we didn't want to attempt to do anything until the book was actually completely drawn, and it's all penciled. I've drawn the entire thing. I'm just waiting on the inks to get done. So if you want to keep track of that, you can either follow me on YouTube or on Instagram, and you'll get updates through there. If you're interested in seeing, like, this is some of the finished art that my inker. He used to work for Image Comics. He got hired by Jim Lee and worked for Wildstorm Studios back in the 90s. This inker, Chuck Gibson, and he's working with me. So that's like page 2 right there. There's a page. This guy right here is the guy that I'm inking on the original art that you saw when you showed up. Hey Tree, how's it going? So there's that. This is like page 4 or 5. Yeah, Image is one of your faves, even though you're a big Mirage Ninja Turtle guy. Hey, you missed my Ninja Turtle drawing. Where'd it go? Let's see. I got a turtle drawing I was working on. Where the hell is it? It's got to be in here somewhere. Practice inks, practice inks. This is stupid. Got it sitting right here somewhere. How did my damn turtle drawing go? Like, now I'm like determined. It's here somewhere. God damn it, there it is. Speaking of turtles, anyway. But yeah, I've got this whole comic drawn. It's all right here. It's kind of adult entertainment. It's definitely not for kids. But it's like a big homage parody to 90s kind of Image Comics stuff. Big ridiculous action and fighting and sex and violence and ridiculousness. A-Tree, you painted some patches today.
Not sure what that means.
Yeah, Lewis Cool Gamer. That's basically exactly what it is. It's a parody sequel to a comic that Liefeld did and never finished. And so I got really pissed off because I'm like, where is the sequel to this? How can you set up this story with this absolutely insane premise and never finish it? So I just started getting these ideas. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to finish it. I'm just going to redesign everybody and rename everybody, but the basic premise will make it a sequel, a parody follow-up to an issue of Bloodstrike that Liefeld started and never finished. So that's what it is. Yeah, classic Liefeld, right? Mr. Pritchard, hello. Yeah, thanks. I've been having fun figuring out metal textures, and I've been it's been enjoyable kind of figuring that out a little bit. Erwin Papa, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. Comic Artist Pro Secrets, hello, how are you? What is, if you're asking what this is, it's just like a, it's going to be a pinup in the back of a book that I'm putting together. That's, the whole thing is a parody of kind of Image Comics, 90s over-the-top excess, but meant in a good way, like a light-hearted way, but leaning into all the silliness the extreme violence in a way that sometimes wasn't shown, the sex, just the absolute silliness of it all, but done with like as someone who grew up loving all that type of stuff. Oh, you just discovered my channel. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just a just a little nobody who just started talking about comics on YouTube, and I kind of got a little bit of a following, and it's turned into, you know, kind of something I take seriously now, and made a lot of good friends and connections, and for the first time in my quote-unquote creative life, got people looking at my work. Whoops. I recognize the name, but I can't place it. I'm sure I must have seen you on YouTube somewhere. I know the name. I could see you're like a highlighted checker box name. I'm probably just not placing it off the top of my head because it's late and I'm in the middle of trying to not embarrass myself with my silly art. That's you? I know that name. That's where I've seen the name, or the channel. Am I really talking to Ethan? Is that really you? It seems kind of little old me doesn't get anybody looking at my channel, you know what I mean? So thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Ethan, thank you for stopping in. I'm honored anybody watches my channel at all and stops in to say hi to me, because, you know, I'm a nobody. I mean, my mom always says I'm cool, but, you know. Talking and Drawing with Shane Davis. How are you doing, Talking and Drawing with Shane Davis? Well, thank you, Ethan. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the stuff I'm interested in. I'm doing this comic, and I'm working with an inker from the '90s, Chuck Gibson. He was hired by Jim Lee for Wildstorm and inked for him for a long time. And these are his inking right here on my stuff. So yeah, it's just me kind of just finally doing something about the stuff I've always enjoyed reading and talking about. So just doing my own thing, and gonna have this book on a crowdfunder once it gets completely inked. So appreciate it. Thank you. I'm honored that you stopped in. Talking and drawing, you were my 2,125th subscriber. Is that real? Can you tell a number? Does it actually work like that? I don't know. Because I'm at 6,884 somehow. Tree, you think it tells you what subscriber number you are when you have subscriptions public? I assume that mine is public. I'm not really sure off the top of my head. Ricky Zamora, yes, this is all freehand. I mean, I don't know what else it would be. I don't draw digitally. No, I do not draw Batman very often. Ricky Zamora, I am inking. I've got a couple of pens. Probably won't be able to see it. It says Tombow. And there's a soft tip and a hard tip. I got them at my arts and crafts store, the Hobby Lobby around the corner. They just come together in a 2-pack. They were recommended to me by a professional inker. And I was just like, all right, let me give them a shot. And I wasn't sure at first, but I'm kind of a 100% believer now. Nate. Are you up bright and early in Australia? How are you doing, man? Afternoon? Alright, well, I always figured if it's night where I'm at, it's the opposite where you're at. I guess I don't know for sure. But, yeah. No, this is a pinup to go into the back of the book, featuring villains. This guy is in the first book, but these other guys are new characters that will show up in book 2. Yeah, did you see Ethan Van Sciver stopped in and said, hey? That shocked the piss out of me. I recognized the screen name. It's not his name, but it was the name of his YouTube channel, but I couldn't place it. Like, I've seen it, I just didn't know what it was. But then he told me, I'm like, oh shit. He said he recently discovered my channel and appreciates the videos about 90s comics, because that's kind of what he's interested in, like most of us, in a way. Ricky, are they better than the Sakura Micron? I would say yes. I feel like Micron's like, I know a professional inker who hates Microns, and he uses these, and he recommended these to me. Microns are good, and I use this one for a really fine tip, and I use them a lot, but I feel like the brush tip on these Tombow pens are of a much higher quality. Um, there's two names on them. The brand is Tombow, Tombow, but then there's also this other name. Again, I don't know if you can see it. Fudendo Suke, Fudenosuke. It's got a bunch of, I don't know if it's Chinese writing or Vietnam. It says made in Vietnam, so maybe it's Vietnamese. But yeah, I feel like the brush tip. There's a soft tip and a hard tip, and both of them, I just like the way the ink flows out of them a lot better than. Yeah, I like them better than the Pitt pens. I used Pitt pens for a long time, but goddamn if the ink just doesn't dry up out of those, and they're not juicy for very long at all, and it pisses me off. And then I also use occasionally the gotta rub the thing off it. What's the brand on this? The pocket pen, Pentel pocket brush pens, and I like these with the refillable ink, and it's got a nice brush tip. The only thing I don't like about this thing is that the ink stays wet for a long time, and I end up smearing it all over the page unless I'm really careful. So that pisses me off. I do use the old standard like bottle of ink and brushes and the Hunt 102 nibs. But it just kind of depends on what I'm doing and what kind of mood I'm in to draw other stuff. Oh shit. I gotta forget that I'm using my old phone and it's got a shit battery and it's about to die, so I gotta plug it in. Get power to it. There we go. Alright. T-Merc said you fall in love with the Nico G nib. I've never heard of that. Is it something I might need to seek out and give a shot on? Holds more ink than a 102, so it's a pretty versatile. There's many G nibs by different companies, and they're all in varying softness. So it's like a dip pen, like a Hunt 102, but it's similar to that. That's what you're saying. I really love using the Hunt 102, but goddamn, is it so hard to get it to do what I want it to do. Some things I can make it work, but some things I can't. Ricky Zamora, you ask if I'm a professional artist. No, not in the context of you can go out and find my comics anywhere on the shelf or in any kind of ordering magazine, or any comic shop could order them. No, not in that context. I guess it depends on what a person judges to be a professional comic artist. I've been told that as soon as you make money, even a little bit, doing something, you're labeled as a professional. So I've sold artwork before, I've been paid before, so does that make me a professional? In my mind, no. I'm just a nobody who's making his own stuff on his own time, trying to get people interested in it. But I'm just a guy making comics on my own, and always wanted to do it. And social media and YouTube has given me an outlet to show my stuff and get a little bit of an audience, from watching my channel about comics. Ricky, your dream career has always been a comic artist, but you're too cowardly to pursue it professionally. I mean, I guess it just depends on what you like. Like, there's nothing stopping you from just making a comic because you love it, which is what I'm doing. I'm not doing it with any illusions of I'll make it and make money at it and be able to quit my daily 9-to-5 job or anything like that. But I do it because I love to draw and I like to tell comic book stories. And so that's why I do it. And it'd be nice if something comes of it. Even a little bit. Mooper-san, hey, what's up? You said thanks for the recent video on that new Youngblood. Never heard of the thing. Are you talking about the Rescripted book by Joe Casey? Is that the one you're talking about? Which is one of my favorite things, despite Liefeld. I did say in the video on it, it's never far from my hands, as I just demonstrated. Montoya, how are you doing? Yeah, Mooper-san, the Rescripted one. It's insane how much it's unbelievable. Like, previous to that thing, I've reviewed all those Youngblood books, and I'm like, they were part of my childhood, and whatever. But that Rescripted one just reframes the entire thing to become something that I love. It's shocking to me. Pardon my hiccup. Holy shit. It's shocking to me, as evidenced by the video I did, about how fun it becomes and how much I want more of it. It's a shame Liefeld, and I don't think you could do that same treatment to the entire Youngblood series that Liefeld drew. I don't think it would all work in the same way, but man, that thing... That was one shocking revelation to me. Montoya, much like your art here, I'm doing awesome. Well, thanks, my dude. That's thank you. I don't know if you guys missed it. Just a few minutes ago, before some of you showed up, Ethan Van Sciver stopped in and said hello. I didn't recognize because his YouTube, it lists as his YouTube channel. Not his physical name. And I recognized it, but I couldn't place it off the top of my head. I'm like, I recognize it, but he's like, he tells me who he is. I was like, oh shit, hey, thanks for, he just said he recently discovered my channel and kind of said thanks and keep it up. So I'm like, oh shit, well thank you. That's awesome. Ricky Zamora, do I like Tim Sale's art? Mostly. It's kind of depends on what it is. I kind of liked him when he started, then I kind of fell off. Like, one of my favorite comic series of all time is Superman for All Seasons that he did years and years ago in the 90s. It's like one of the best drawn Superman books ever. I love it so much. And I read The Long Halloween one time years ago, and I liked it, but I've never revisited it because I don't own it. I had to borrow it from my brother. So yes, I like his stuff. Yes, I do. But there is some times where I'm like, it's a little bit too weird for me. But it's obviously skilled. It's just a preference, like a individual taste thing. Not like I'm saying he's not a good artist. I'm just like, it doesn't, doesn't blow me away. But he was definitely talented. And it sucks that he died not too long ago, right? I don't remember if I ever heard why or how, but it's another one of those like great artists that's, sorry, I'm trying to focus on throwing my lines here and I can't chit chat while I'm doing it. That died way too young. Forest Groves, how are you? How you doing? You know what, Montoya? That's a good question. I'm actually checking it right now because I started out with the phone and I did not have it plugged in, but I only got about 45 minutes before the battery was like at 20%. So then I plugged it in. So now it's charging. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if anybody's watching, if I suddenly, my stream just ends in the middle of I don't ever end them just by like shutting it off and not saying anything. So if I just vanish, it's because my phone took a shit, and then I'll switch over to my other actual like good phone, and I'll get back on. But yeah, if I ever vanish, just hang out for a minute. Mooperson Tim passed away in 2022. Is that? I guess I don't know. I felt like it was more recent, but I honestly don't know now that I think about it. But it sucked. I'm just another artist gone way too soon. I think about it. I did a video coming up, I think tomorrow. Let me check my schedule. Yeah, tomorrow. It's in '97. They did a Alpha Flight restart by Scott Clark. He's dead. And then, of course, I recently did a Soulfire from Michael Turner. And, of course, he passed away. It just sucks. Montoya, what's all the nib talk? Did I miss some hardcore traditional inking? No, just a fellow was asking what tools am I using, and asked if I like these better than other things. And I mentioned that I personally like to use the Hunt 102, though I can't get it to do what I want it to do as often. And then the other fellow was talking about he likes to use this type of thing. So there was some, you know, tool talk for a minute. When you get back into your real comic after the ash can, mainly nib and brushes for you. Awesome. Where am I going? Over here. Ricky Zamora, you were going to subscribe, but it turns out you already did. Well, hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of doing it twice. Or unconsciously thinking of doing it twice. I appreciate it. Montoya, learning curve, but it's more fun to you. Yeah, I actually enjoy it a lot when I use those traditional, like the old school dip pens and stuff like that. But sometimes I just feel like I can get a close enough approximation on most things with some of these dip pens or these regular, technical pen things like this, and it's so much quicker and less messy potentially. But just on principle, I would still rather use those things. So it just depends on what I'm doing. Like, for example, I got a for example here. When I was drawing my naked metal bitch here, everything, like, you can feel it. I'm not trying to touch her metal titties, but all these ink lines through the arm all the way up through here and across her chest was all done with the Hunt 102. I was doing all these lines with that thing. And I liked the way that they were looking, but then I switched over to some pens like this and just started inking them the rest of the way with this, and I don't know that anybody can tell a difference. I kind of can't, and I wasn't worried about smudging or spreading the ink all over the place like I was when I was throwing the ink down up here, but you can feel it. You can feel the texture from that sharp metal nib grinding into the paper, like it leaves a texture. But it's only on this top half. The rest of it is all penned like this, and it just kind of worked out. So that's an example of like why I end up using these more often than those other ones. My understanding is that even Scott Williams doesn't use dipping pens anymore, that he does everything with technical pens. I was going to say something to the effect of, if it's good enough for Scott Williams, it's good enough for me. But boy, making that comparison to him and myself is just embarrassing to me, so. Yeah, the pens have gotten better over the years, where it's worth the change over the. Yeah, I agree. If you kind of got a learned hand, and I'm not saying that's me at all, but you can kind of get the same looks. Montoya, honestly, actually, he uses these. I got these recommended from him. He used to do Hunt 102s and brushes back in the day, he would tell me. And he's like, you know, he likes using them, but they're so messy. And you have to worry about getting your hand in a wet splotch of ink or dripping or all that shit. And so, you know, he retired from inking and, you know, he's getting back into it. And he found these and highly recommended them. And so that's why I picked them up. So he uses these. And as far as I know, I think this is all he uses, is these pens. That's why when I saw them in my local art store, I was like, oh shit, this is what Chuck's uses. So I wanted to pick them up and give a shot, just see what I could do with them. And I'm definitely a fan. And he has inked several parts of several pages of my current project by hand using those tools. If you watch his channel at all, he's done some of that stuff live on live streams here and there. And you see him using the same thing. So yeah, I got it from him. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my line work, and I'm too critical of myself looking at it. But it's funny because when I look through the viewfinder on my camera and trying to look at it, trying to give myself a fresh perspective, like I don't hate what I see. You know, it's always hard to be objective. I'm like, am I throwing down anything that works? I don't know. I'm trying, but I do like the line work they get out of these things. And they're not very expensive. It was like $4 or $5, $6, something like that for a pack of 2. So it's not like you're, you know, breaking the bank or anything like that to get a set of these things. Yeah, it's not like a $30 brush. Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that, like, I was kind of like hesitant to pick them up because if there's one thing I hate is having a tool that has a finite life, like spending money on a tool that will then die, which sounds stupid because that's the same as a Hunt 102 or a brush, but those are like, depending on if you just take care of them, you can have a longer life in a way, but like a pen, once the ink runs out, it's done, no matter what the status of the tool. The tip could still be good. You know, once you run out of ink, you're done. And now I know some people talk about they will drill holes into them and inject their own ink back into it to keep using them, which sounds like a decent enough idea if you're willing to spend that kind of time. And I'm not. But I like the tools enough, these Tombow pens. I'm using a Pitt pen, but just to fill in the blacks here. But those Tombow pens, they're just inexpensive enough, and they're just around the corner in a local art store that I go to, that I'm like, okay, I can use these without, being too upset that I just blew too much money on a tool that sucks. Like, I used to use these Pitt pens all the time, but I've gotten to dislike them. So I don't get them very often. I use them for very limited things. Those Tombows have basically taken their place. Michael, you usually milk an octopus onto the nibs of dried out pens to refill them. That's a good question, Montoya. To my recollection so far, I don't really recall any fade. Now you got me thinking about it. The Pitt pens, they fade like a motherfucker, and I hate them for that. But I feel like the Tombows, I haven't noticed any fade, or not enough that frustrated me. So that's a good question. I haven't noticed enough of a fade on them to get me all pissed off. So that's another, point in their favor. Yeah, the Tombow pens, I'm saying I don't feel like I've noticed any fade when I erase over them. The Pitt pens, yes. I feel like the Microns hold up pretty well, but I like the tip ink, the ink tips on the Tombows better, and I haven't noticed any ink fade when I've erased over them.
At 20 years, she turned to her mother, saying, Mother, I know that you grieve. I'm a gambler. Tomorrow comes time to leave. The hills cannot hold back my sorrow forever. Dead men like me round the door of the only salvation mine for the asking. Mother, ain't gonna be no more. Winter held high round the mountain crest, and cold of 1,000 snows lay heaped upon the forest street. She dressed in calico.
Yeah, on your 2-try list. Yeah, give them a shot. Yeah, again, don't take my word for it. It's a Chuck Gibson recommendation. But I'm a believer.
And the fire of a longing would keep away the soul and drift from side to sea. The road was long beneath the sea. She followed the frozen red in search of a certain St. John the Gambler, stumbling to her death. She heard his laughter right down from the mountain, dance with her mother's tears. To a funeral home, a castle with a cross between years. To a funeral home, a castle with a cross between years.
Uh-oh, can you hear me, see me? Is everything still going? I checked the battery status on my thing just a second ago just to see if it was okay, and sometimes when I kind of pull the pull down screen to check the battery status, sometimes the stream will stop for a second, but I hope it's still going okay. Damn. Well, I may not be going too much longer. It's 12:30 at night where I'm at, and I'm might try and finish up this hand on this one figure and then call it a night. So, but yeah, let me know if it starts shutting off or something. Michael says, looking good on your end. Wingus Dingus says it's fine on your end.
I'll never get tired of saying a screen name like that. Because how could you?
Well, I think I might be done with as far as I'm going to take it on this end tonight. Why do you picture Jim Carrey goofing around on a piano to this? Dude, that's funny. I don't know. I can kind of see that too. That's hilarious. Now it's in my head. You've reframed this entire song for me forever. Like this. I've got some double lighting on his nutsack. How about that? Eat your heart out, Stephen Platt, with your double lighting and your bounce lighting. Two nuts, two lights. Well, yeah, I'm done, guys. So, Michael, Montoya, what was it, Wingus Dingus? If you're still around, anybody who's still here, thank you for watching and chatting. I appreciate it. As always. But, yeah, I'll catch you all next time.